I've been at it for years now, so there's a good handful of child-friendly videos that are available to watch at this point. There's a bunch of videos of me building this, and I'm planning on building another one soon. Enjoy.
Andrew Camarata, a quiet man working heavy machines in the dirt, turned simple real-life labor into a $1 million YouTube empire watched by millions around the world. With no flashy edits, no staged drama, and no viral tricks, he built attention the hard way, through raw, honest work. From bulldozers to massive land projects, every video hides a deeper story of patience, grit, and smart choices over many years. But how did a private worker become a global online name? And what really fueled his rise? This is the story. The quiet power of simplicity. Why does it feel almost impossible to look away when Andrew Camarata is simply working? There is no loud music, no flashy editing, and no dramatic storytelling trying to pull your attention. Yet, millions of people still stay glued to the screen. The answer is deeper than entertainment. It is about something calm, real, and deeply satisfying. It is not just about machines digging, lifting, or fixing things. It is about watching a skilled person take control of heavy equipment with calm confidence. Every movement is careful. Every decision feels intentional. Nothing is rushed, nothing is fake, and nothing is overdone. In a world full of noise, fast cuts, and endless distractions, his videos feel different. They slow things down. They let you breathe. You start to notice the small details, the sound of engines, the rhythm of work, and the steady progress being made step by step. Part of the appeal comes from how real everything feels. There are no scripts, no fake reactions, and no unnecessary drama. Just honest work being done in real time. It feels almost like you are standing right there watching everything unfold with your own eyes. But beyond the machines and construction work, something more subtle is happening. It is the satisfaction of progress. Watching something broken get fixed. Watching chaos turn into order. Watching effort turn into results you can actually see. This kind of content also builds trust. You are not being sold a story. You are simply witnessing real skill and patience at work. That honesty makes it easy to keep watching, even when nothing dramatic is happening. And, in the end, Andrew Camarata shows that simplicity is not boring at all. When done with skill, focus, and purpose, it becomes something powerful. Something that holds attention not by shouting, but by quietly proving its worth. That is why people keep coming back, not for chaos, but for calm focus. Not for entertainment tricks, but for real effort they can feel. In every video, there is a quiet reminder that progress does not always need to be loud. Sometimes, it is the steady work of one person, one machine, and one clear goal that creates the most satisfying experience of all, for viewers who value patience and real-world skill over flashy entertainment online today. Andrew Camarata has built a loyal audience of millions of viewers over the years. But how did he earn such strong and lasting support from his viewers? What is he doing differently that keeps people engaged compared to other similar YouTube channels? Now, let's explore the uncommon idea that revealed his mindset. The unconventional innovation. Long before Andrew found success on YouTube, he was already seeing the world in a very different way from most people. While others followed popular ideas or tried to copy what was trending, he often chose a path that made sense to him personally, even if it looked strange from the outside. One of the clearest examples of this mindset was his unusual project, a castle built using shipping containers. To many people, it looked odd at first. Some even questioned why anyone would attempt such a thing. A castle made from metal boxes did not fit into what people expected a home or a workshop to be. But for Andrew, it was never about fitting expectations. It was about solving problems smartly and practically. Shipping containers were strong, easy to stack, and already built to handle harsh conditions. Instead of seeing them as simple storage units, he saw them as building blocks with real potential. That is where his thinking stood out. He looked at things through a different lens, one that focused on usefulness, strength, and long-term value. Where others saw something unusual or strange, he saw efficiency, durability, and freedom to design something on his own terms. Building the container castle was not just a creative experiment. It was a statement about how he approaches life and work. He does not wait for approval, and he does not rely on traditional rules to decide what is possible. This mindset, practical, bold, and independent, became the quiet foundation of everything he later achieved. It shows that real success is not always about following trends, but about trusting your own thinking, solving problems in simple ways, and having the courage to build things differently from everyone else. Over time, this way of thinking shaped not only his projects, but also the way people came to understand his work online. Instead of chasing attention, he focused on building things that actually worked in the real world. Each project became a reflection of patience, problem-solving, and hands-on learning. Even when others doubted his ideas, he kept moving forward, proving that practical thinking can be just as powerful as formal training or expensive tools. Andrew Camarata's innovative approach to solving real-life problems has earned him the admiration of millions of viewers. But where did this experience really come from? And how did it become a key part of his success? Was it shaped by his childhood environment? Or was it driven mainly by his own personal effort and dedication? Let's find out. Raised by machines. Andrew didn't learn this from tutorials or online courses. Instead, his understanding came from real life, not from screens or classrooms. He grew up surrounded by engines, tools, and hands-on problem-solving. Every day around him, machines were being repaired, rebuilt, or taken apart. And that world slowly became familiar to him. Watching his father work wasn't just inspirational, it was training. He didn't sit in a classroom to understand how things function. He learned by seeing, touching, and trying things himself. While many people learn skills for the camera, Andrew had already lived them long before anyone was watching. Fixing broken parts, solving real problems, and working through difficult situations were not new to him. They were part of his everyday life. Even when he briefly explored computer science, it became clear that his path wasn't behind a desk. It was out in the field, building and fixing things for real. That realization didn't come as a shock to him. It felt more like a confirmation of what he already knew deep down. He realized that his strength wasn't in theory alone, but in action, in the real weight of experience built over time. This kind of foundation shaped not only how he worked, but also how he saw problems and solutions. It gave him patience, confidence, and a calm way of dealing with challenges that others might find overwhelming. Instead of being rushed or uncertain, he learned to trust what he could see, touch, and understand with his own hands. That practical mindset became the core of everything he did, shaping his decisions and the way he approached every task. In the end, Andrew's journey shows that real skill is not always taught in a classroom or learned from a video. It is built slowly through experience, repetition, and a willingness to get your hands dirty and figure things out. His life reflects a simple truth. When you grow up learning by doing, You carry that strength with you everywhere you go. Because of this, Andrew stands as someone shaped by real work, real effort, and real understanding, proving that the best lessons are often not written in books, but lived through hands-on moments that build character, confidence, and a lasting ability to solve problems in the real world every day. Andrew's childhood background helped shape the resilient YouTuber that many people find hard to scroll past. But was it YouTube that made him successful, or had he already positioned himself for success long before his multi-million-dollar YouTube presence was created? And what are some of the efforts that contributed to his steady, unwavering growth? Let's uncover the details. The job he had before YouTube. Before success, Andrew lived a life that looked completely ordinary. He worked for the United States Postal Service, earning a steady income while quietly planning his next move. Instead of rushing into risk, he chose patience. He saved carefully, piece by piece, until he could finally afford his first machine, a 1965 John Deere dozer. That purchase did not change everything overnight. It simply opened a door. The real grind began long before any success showed on the surface. Andrew did not quit his job right away. He kept working at the Postal Service during the day, then used his free time to take on small property jobs. Nights, weekends, early mornings, he used every spare hour he had. The work was not easy. It was slow, tiring, and often messy. There was no fame, no attention, and no guarantee that things would work out. But he kept going anyway. Each small job taught him something new. Each repair, each cleared lot, each machine he fixed added a little more experience and confidence. Over time, small steps began to turn into something bigger. He saved again, reinvested, and slowly added more equipment to what he already had. With every new machine, new opportunities began to appear. What started as side work gradually became a growing path forward. Still, nothing about it looked impressive from the outside. To most people, it was just hard work that never seemed to end. But Andrew saw something different. He saw progress, even when it was slow. Eventually, the steady effort paid off. The side hustle he built after long days and tired nights grew into a full-time business known as Camarata Property Maintenance. This is the part most people miss. Not the success itself, but the quiet years before it. The long stretch of work that nobody noticed. The patience, the discipline, and the willingness to keep going when nothing big had happened yet. That unseen period is what truly built everything that came later. It shaped him in ways quick success never could, teaching him patience, strength, and belief in slow growth that lasts. He learned to trust steady effort over shortcuts, and to see value in work that builds quietly over time, without applause or recognition. That mindset became his foundation for everything that followed later. Long before his YouTube empire was created, Andrew had already acquired machines that allowed him to showcase his hands-on expertise. But when did the real turning point in his YouTube journey happen? Which video made him widely recognized and a favorite among millions of viewers? Was he intentional about breaking through with that video? Let's find out. The unscripted upload. When Andrew finally uploaded a video in 2016, there was no grand strategy behind it. No clever plan, no polished script, and no special editing tricks. It was simply him, his camera, and the real work he was doing with his hands. He recorded things exactly as they happened, without trying to make them look bigger or more dramatic than they were. But that simple approach was exactly what made the video stand out from everything else online. People clicked on it out of curiosity. Then something unexpected happened. They stayed. The video didn't feel like performance or entertainment. It felt real. It felt like watching someone quietly solve problems in real time without pretending or forcing anything. To Andrew, it was just another day of work. But to viewers, it was something refreshing and honest in a space filled with over-edited and overly scripted content. There were no flashy cuts, no background music designed to create emotion, and no scripted lines. Just machines running, tools being used, and problems being solved step by step. That honesty made people trust what they were seeing. It didn't feel like someone trying to impress them. It felt like someone simply doing what they knew how to do. What seemed ordinary to Andrew felt special to everyone watching. That difference revealed something powerful about the world of content. People are often drawn more to truth than perfection. They can sense when something is real, even if it is simple. That single upload quietly showed a bigger lesson. Authenticity was not common online, and because of that, it was incredibly valuable. Andrew didn't set out to prove anything. He just shared his work. But in doing so, he accidentally showed that being real can sometimes be more powerful than trying to be perfect or entertaining. In the days that followed, this simple style of sharing slowly began to attract more attention than he ever expected. People began to look forward to each new upload, not because it was flashy, but because it was honest and easy to understand. Over time, this steady interest grew into a loyal audience that valued real work over staged moments and polished appearances everywhere else online. This showed him that consistency and truth could quietly build something strong over time, even without any noise or hype. Andrew Camarata's 2016 YouTube video became a major turning point in his journey toward building a multi-million-dollar YouTube presence. But did his success stop with YouTube alone, or did he support his growth with real-world work happening behind the scenes, making his rise more stable and sustainable? Now, let's dive into the real structure behind his million-dollar empire. Beyond YouTube fame. Andrew's success is not just about YouTube, even though that is what most people first notice. The platform may bring him views, attention, and income, but it is only one small piece of a much bigger system he has carefully built over time. What looks like simple online videos is actually supported by years of real-world work, planning, and steady effort behind the scenes. His real strength is balance. Instead of depending on just one source of money or one path to success, Andrew built several systems that work together. He combines content creation with hands-on business work, practical mechanical skills, and different streams of income that support each other. This means his life is not tied to one fragile outcome, but spread across multiple strong foundations. While many people online rely completely on views, likes, and ever-changing algorithms, Andrew chose a more grounded approach. He made sure his work exists both online and offline. On the internet, people see his videos, his projects, and his problem-solving in action. But away from the camera, there is real machinery, real land, and real jobs that continue regardless of what happens on social media. That combination creates stability. If online attention slows down, his physical work is still running. If business gets quiet at times, his content can still grow and reach new people. Each side supports the other, forming a cycle that keeps everything moving forward instead of collapsing under pressure. Over time, this way of working has proven to be more reliable than chasing quick fame or viral success. It shows that real growth does not have to come from sudden moments of attention. Instead, it can be built slowly through consistency, patience, and multiple streams working together. That is the real strategy behind Andrew's long-term stability. It is not about luck or trends, it is about structure. It is about building something strong enough to survive changes in platforms, shifts in audience interest, and the unpredictability of the internet. In the end, his journey shows that real success is often invisible at first. It is built quietly, layer by layer, until it becomes strong enough to stand on its own. Andrew Camarata combines content creation with a working business, practical skills, and multiple income streams to sustain his YouTube career. But how does he manage to stay consistent over the years? Does it mean he has no obstacles at all? Or has he simply learned how to handle challenges professionally without letting them slow him down? Let's find out. The quiet discipline behind the success. Behind the scenes, Andrew lives a life that is surprisingly simple and very private. He is not the type to constantly post updates or chase attention online. There is no loud personal branding, no staged drama, and no effort to always be in the spotlight. Instead, most of his time is spent doing what he has always done best: working, quietly, consistently, without turning every moment into content. Even when things have gone wrong, he has stayed the same in his approach. Over the years, he has dealt with injuries from physical work, unexpected setbacks on job sites, and long, slow periods where progress felt almost invisible. There were times when work didn't go as planned, when equipment broke down, or when jobs took longer and cost more effort than expected. But none of these moments were ever turned into a show for attention. He did not build his story around a struggle for views or sympathy. Instead, he dealt with problems, fixed what he could, learned from what went wrong, and moved forward. That attitude is a big part of what makes his journey different. In a world where many people turn every challenge into content and every small success into a big announcement, Andrew chose the opposite path. He kept most of it private and focused on the work itself rather than how it looked to others. And this is where the deeper truth of his success becomes clear. It was not built on a single viral video or one lucky moment that changed everything overnight. It was not the result of clever tricks, shortcuts, or sudden fame. Instead, it was built on something far less flashy, but much more powerful. Showing up again and again, day after day, even when nobody was watching. He worked when it was easy and when it was hard. He worked when progress was fast and when it felt slow. He worked when there was attention and when there was none at all. That steady pattern, repeated over time, created something strong and lasting. This is what many people miss when they only see the surface. They see the results, but not the years behind them. They see the videos, but not the quiet effort that made them possible. Andrew's success is not a sudden rise. It is a long build, shaped by discipline, patience, and a simple commitment to keep going no matter what. In the end, his story is not about being seen all the time. It is about doing the work even when no one is looking, and letting the results speak slowly but clearly over time. So, what do you think about how Andrew Camarata built his empire? What lessons can you learn from his approach to building wealth? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.